Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we are talking about one of the mods I promised in my Wednesday Infidelity versus Sunday Night video. And that is the re-ranking of Wednesday Infidelity songs from my least favorite to my favorite. Now, I should set a couple rules to help you understand how I'm ranking these things. For one, if you remember my last video, then you might remember the fact that I said originality in the song was important, like my example in Battered, and why it was a downside because it wasn't original to the mod. Well, throw that opinion right in the trash because in this video, originality of the song does not matter all too much. It could have been to the original, to the mod, it could have been from somewhere else. But I am looking for how much I can enjoy the song, how easily I can revisit it, and if there's anything itself to the song that makes it better. And so, with that, let's begin our ranking of Wednesday Infidelity. Now, for our last place, this might be the largest fall of any song on the list, because if you watched my original ranking video, this song was a whole lot higher. Not even in the conversation for the worst song. However, my opinion has changed on the song over time, and while I don't think there are any bad songs in this mod, there is one I can call mediocre. That being number 21, Bad Day. One of the songs in the main story, and personally, I just don't think this one hits for me. It's not bad, but it is far and away the only song I can't really independently name a single part I think is catchy. I know it's supposed to be a sad song, but in terms of enjoyability, the warping of the song does not really help it, and it's just not a very re-listenable to song. I don't hate it, I just think it just doesn't compare to the others because I can't really think of any part I genuinely enjoyed all too much in this song. Because at least every other song has one decent part in it. And it just falls short because of that. It really was a bad day for this song. Now for number 20, this one actually surprised me quite a lot. Another one that dropped a pretty big margin. But if I had to say what was number 20, this goes to Cremat. This song is actually alright, and I would listen to it on occasions as background music, but there are quite a few issues with the song itself. First of all, I am not a fan of the first half at all. Part of it straight up hurts my ears and gets really annoying to listen to. While its second half is actually pretty decent, to me, it doesn't reach the same peaks that other songs do, and when personally half your song is not that great and the other half is just decent, plus the fact there are no backgrounds and for the most part it doesn't look that good, it just falls short, especially when you are being compared to a bunch of other really solid songs. So yeah, that's why this song is this low. However, number 19 was actually my original last place, being Carnival in Toyland. Honestly, I was pretty surprised on a re-listen that this song was not that bad. I really didn't like it when I first heard it, maybe because it was so simple, but honestly, that might be why I like it more now. It's pretty a nice, overall, really short but calm song. And it's not a bad listen to, especially after the first part of the game was so intense. It's like a little cooling down period. And it was a pretty good choice for this. It's a simple song that is even a little catchy. However, sadly, its short length and the fact that it just doesn't really compare to everything else on this list. Mainly because it doesn't really have anything stand out about it. It's just an alright song for the most part, so yeah, it is still really low, but I am glad I did like this on a re-listen. Number 18 goes to Vanessa. This song also was a little better sounding on a rewatch, even though it does take a bit for it to pick up. I think Boyfriend sounds really good in this song, while Mickey, in my opinion, has his worst sounding vocals in this song, apart from Bad Day, of course. Even though they're not horrible, and the song goes a lot better over time, especially paired with Boyfriend. It's intense, it's decently catchy, and after the beginning, pretty solid. Overall, yeah, that's my opinion on the song. It's a good song, but not enough to get any higher. Number 17, Clubhouse. This song is actually pretty catchy for how it looks. It's definitely one of the weirdest songs in the mod, just using a Mickey PNG, but it's actually surprisingly catchy. My main issues are with the background music not really being that good in collaboration with the actual song, in my opinion. Especially since the actual song is good in terms of itself, but the background music just doesn't help it. And it just doesn't have the effort that the other ones did, but I did like this one more than expected. So, yeah, pretty solid song. Number 16, Hunger Pangs. This song is overall pretty good. Rhythm good, background music solid, it's pretty fast paced and decently intense overall, and it's the best sounding one out of the ones so far we listed. However, it's not higher on the list because I think the fast paced vocals don't work quite as well here, especially when in comparison to its original song where I liked it more in its beginning song Cheddar, since I like the slower pacing that it had. And also, I don't like the slow piano keys, and the slam at the end just doesn't work as well and makes the song feel like it ends suddenly, but overall, a pretty solid song. Number 15, Sunsets. This is one of the songs that got a lot higher over time since originally it was in my least favorite of the main songs. But on a re-listen, it's actually pretty good. It's catchy, simple tune, and the vocals of Mickey are overall really nice to listen to, and honestly, I would just consider this a better version of Carnival in Toyland, since I like Mickey's vocals way more. However, overall, the song is a little too short, and there's a long pause that doesn't really need to be there and makes the song feel even shorter. But it's a nice song, just to make me feel good in a pretty twisted mod overall. So, yeah, I really like this song. Number 14, Wistfulness. The starting song of the mod is still a pretty good classic, and a lot better than in its first version. I really like how they incorporated the old classical music for the first song, and it makes me a little surprised it didn't come into play in any of the other ones. But it makes this song stand out even more. It's a very simple song, but a very good one, and in my opinion, definitely one of the better ones when starting a mod. And having a jump scare, but twisting it up a little bit with Mickey even being scared from this, but him starting to go insane, and the rhythm starting to sound like smashing keyboards. Overall, it's a really good, creepy song. However, it's just not catchy in comparison to the other mods. Or songs, sorry. But overall, this is a very solid song for this type of mod, and regardless on its catchiness, it's still a really good, creepy song. Number 13, Cravings. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not expect this song to get this high. And based on the fact I've heard reviews that this is one of the least enjoyed songs, I felt even more confident that I wouldn't like this. But I actually found myself kind of enjoying the song. To be honest, its relatively slow pacing actually works pretty well with the vocals of Cheddar, and I think they work better than Hunger Pangs. There isn't really a single part I hated in the song either. I just found myself enjoying the song the whole way through. I wouldn't say there's anything great about it, but its consistency is really noticeable and what helps it get this high. Number 12, Battered. This song is overall really good, and it's well paced and sounds good. It has a lot of the makings for a really good song. But it did drop a bit, though, especially in comparison to my last reason. Because, for one, the 3-2-1 part just doesn't sound nearly as good in this song as it did before. Also, it doesn't really have much standing out about it. Not much happens in the song, but it's pretty consistent and doesn't necessarily have any great parts, but I think it has better parts than Cravings. But overall, a fun listen back. Number 11, Unknown Defeat. This overall is just another song that is just consistently very good throughout with not very many problems. Again, this is another song that is good, but it doesn't have necessarily anything great about it. It's just a very nice song to have on in the background. And unlike Battered, it doesn't have the 3-2-1 part that interrupts the flow of the song or sounds weird, so that's why it gets a spot higher. Number 10, Dejection. This was an extreme shock to me. I honestly thought I would put this song way higher, because when I heard it, it was a really good song, especially compared to its original version, which is, well, it's a lot faster paced than that version. Overall, very good song, and again, no parts in it that I could really consider, well, bad. However, there are a couple things that I think had to push it down. First of all, the first half is just a little slow. It's not bad, but in comparison to its second half, it doesn't feel as intense nor nearly as interesting. I know it's setting up to it, but it just wasn't as fun to get through. And the laugh feels a little bit out of place and doesn't feel as intense as I would like. But overall, I still really like the song regardless of those minor flaws. Just a little slightly noticeable, but I'm glad this song still remained in the top 10. Number 9, Too Slow. This song is again a very good song, and a pretty good remake of the original song. Sonic.exe's Too Slow is one of the few things that actually got me into Friday Night Funkin', and in my opinion, this version is a lot better than that one. Transformations are overall pretty good, especially the third and fourth one. Plus, the song just gets better as it goes along with each transformation and is a really fun listen back. And while it is a really good song, it just doesn't stand up to the greats that the rest of the ones have. But honestly, it's pretty close to them, and does compare to them. It's catchy, it's easy to listen to, again, over and over, and it is a really good song. Number 8, Spring March. Oh my god, this song is so much better on a re-listen. It's catchy, great throughout, and this song just came off of Carnival and Toyland, which is incredible to me. It handles the very fast vocals incredibly, and overall, it is a great song. And the only issues I have is just, well, it just doesn't have as much going on as the other songs do. It's really good vocally, but since there's not really much happening within the song itself to make it stand out, honestly, it just couldn't really get any higher, but I still love this song. Number 7, Hellhole. This song is great. There is no doubt about that in my opinion. But sadly, there is a reason why it's not any higher. It does have low points. First half isn't nearly as good as the second half, and I downright hate the Devil segment. Now, this might be a problem, since, well, why did I put it higher than the other ones if I think it has way more problems? However, Hellhole has some of the highest highs I've ever seen in any song to make the lower points a little less relevant. Second half is fantastic, being able to switch from sadness to intense on the flip of a dime and works it well, very well. Man, I love this song at its best. And this song could be higher, but it just has those problems. I want it to be higher. It just struggles with those problems that it has. And sadly for that, it does have to rank down at 7, but don't get me wrong. I love everything about the song that revolves around Mickey and Boyfriend. And even the devil's line at the end talking about how Boyfriend was destined to be there. This is some of the best stuff in the mod, in my opinion. But, yes, it is a great song, just has its weak points. Number 6, Needle Mouse. This is just Unknown Defeat, but better in every way. Its rhythm sounds better, it's catchier, and starts better. While both the Imposter, Mickey, and Boyfriend sound great, and overall there is no problems, it's just a really good song that I can watch over and over again and never get old of it. Just doesn't have enough things going on to make it any higher, but I think it sounds slightly better than Spring March, which is why it's above it in Hellhole, so that's why it gets above it. But the rest of the songs on the list have a bit more stuff going on, plus the fact they have a lot more stuff happening in the songs themselves. Number 5, Leak My Balls. This song is just great, no flaws whatsoever. It's good and very unique compared to the other song. Since it's not Boyfriend going up against someone, and this time, you actually want the players that you are playing as to lose here. Or, I guess it depends on who you are, but you're supposed to hate the characters you're playing as, and you want them to lose, kind of. But you also want to play the games you play. And Mickey and the Devil are trying to defeat leakers. And overall, there is literally no problems. Like I said, the song. But the other songs are just better. That's just the simple fact. I think they rather sound a little better or have more stuff that make the song more interesting. This one is just really good though, so yeah. Number 4. What I'm pretty sure is the most iconic song in the mod, and it absolutely deserves that title. Pretty much takes every part of the mod we know so far in the main parts, and kind of combines it together, in a way. It starts out simple, even though it is an immediate switch. We at first think the song is going to be slightly more toned down to the last one, or at least similar in tone. However, we're immediately jumping into Mickey just going outright insane, transforming twice back to back, and it becomes very quick. However, honestly, it just gets more and more intense as the song goes along, with Mickey's notes becoming more and more frantic or loud. The song goes along with random, seemingly seizures or outbursts. And the throwing syringe gimmick is still a great one. And it's weird that it's one of the only times that it actually happens in this mod. You would think the dodging mechanic would be used more here, with, I think, one exception. But overall, this is a fantastic song. It is impressive to me that there are 3 songs that are better than it. Number 3, Untold Loneliness. This song is basically Unknown Suffering. Same rhythm and overall they're basically the same song. However, this one is slightly better because for one, I think the vocals are a little better. I think the background music is a little better in it. Not to mention, Oswald trying to take himself out in the middle of the fight is settling but also really well done, and I think is a more smooth setup to his full insanity than Mickey immediately turning insane. I think these two are pretty interchangeable. I just think it kind of depends on which vocals you like more for the most part. But I personally think that this one is slightly better. And I am so glad they were able to incorporate Oswald. I have really liked Oswald for a long time, in some way in this mod. And the fact that this is one of my favorites just makes it very worth it to me. Number 2, Accelerant. I am extremely surprised that this song remains second place. It was in my original ranking, but it appears just like in my original ranking, I still think it is the second best song. I think it's really well paced and there's a lot of stuff happening. The dodging gimmick, I believe, is back in this one. I'm pretty sure because he's throwing needles at you constantly. I'm pretty sure you see the player dodge Just ignore me, I'm being kind of stupid. But just, it's a really good sounding song throughout the entire thing. It's intense, syringers popping out even though they feel more like daggers, and the sound of them is just so satisfying. And then Donald Duck makes an appearance randomly. Mickey then immediately just takes him out because he got slightly too annoyed from him being bothersome. And this is just an incredible makings for a great song. It's in everything that Battered was, but so much better, to the point where I just love it. I think it's absolutely one of the best songs of this mod, no doubt, and while I'm surprised I put it here, I think it's deserved in my opinion. However, even after all this time, I still firmly believe that my number one in my original ranking video was correct. And to this day, this final song is not only the best in this mod, but one of the best songs in Friday Night Funkin' altogether. Immediately after sunsets, we have Mickey and boyfriend basically bonding over the fact that Mickey is getting a happy ending. Minnie came back, everything is great, girlfriend is there, they're all having a great time, and the narrator is showing a lot of love at first for these characters, saying that this was a good thing and life would continue perfectly and there's so many more adventures. But then the narrator reveals that he was not into this idea and mocked Mickey, saying that happy endings just won't be possible for him. Then he kills him, causing his head to explode, and then cutting to what, in my opinion, is the best song in the mod. Number 1, Versiculus Iritus. This song has been one of my favorites for a long time. Ever since this song came out, it is not really been topped. Yeah, there are some songs from other mods that match it, and maybe one day I'll go over and see if those songs actually beat it. But this song just does everything it needed to right. It starts out simple, with Mickey chained up and talking to an old man. But after a bit, the old man's pace quickens, and you realize he is no friend or someone sharing the same fate as you. He is the devil, and he is here to torture Mickey. And that's when we get realization that Mickey is in hell. And we get the fastest paced, or some of the fastest paced action you get in this and in this mod ever. And you get to play as Mickey in this song, which is just, I'm just so happy we got to play him in this. This is such a catchy song throughout, and there's not a single part I don't even consider great. Rhythm is great in everything. Even the stage where Mickey tries to fight back a little but is getting corrupted throughout the song, and then it just turns out it's all in vain because in the end, Mickey wasn't able to get out as the scene slowly fades to black. I love this song in every way. This is if Hellhole's high points were the entire song. This is one of my favorite songs in Friday Night Funkin' history. But just, wow, I am so glad I get to talk about this song again. And this is the perfect song, in my opinion, to end this list. And that was the ranking. What do you think of Wednesday Infidelity? Personally, it's still to this day one of my favorite mods of all time. There were not a single song I disliked throughout here. Yeah, even the bottom spot I just thought was kind of mediocre, but I wouldn't say I hated it. But I am really glad I got to remake this video, and I had a lot of fun making this list. So, what is your favorite? What is your least favorite? Do you agree with me or do you have a different opinion? Either way, I will respect it. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you next time.